Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, taking a look at the new OCG ban list. Very cool. I don't think that the OCG and the TCG cross-reference each other to decide when they're going to drop news, but we got the crazy reveals last night. And I guess this isn't even TCG related, but like the fact that it went like new TCG exclusive archetype, then the really cool reveals last night with Ancient Fairy, Cyber Dragon, Live Twin, and Eldritch support. Just really cool news. And then today they drop the OCG ban list. Now this doesn't pertain to us directly, but sometimes there are some ties between the OCG's format and ours. So I'm kind of excited to check out what they decided to do for their list, because it could give us some insight on what could happen on our list in a near ban list. So let's take a look here. Starting off here with the Forbidden section, only one card, so not a huge, axing of a bunch of different cards and stuff on this list, but Dweller's the one ban here. Not too surprising that it took like the best deck in the game, being a rank 4 toolbox deck, to get Abyss Dweller banned here. This card is just crazy, and when you have a deck that's basically main end board is Detonator plus another like rank 4 with follow-up, is, it's not too surprising that something like Dweller can get banned there. Baguska has enough out, so I think Baguska will still be safe, even though Baguska is Dweller-esque in terms of just being a simple rank 4 floodgate. But this one makes a lot of sense to me. This kind of felt like the kind of card. I mean, we saw during tier format, a lot of people were calling for Dweller to get banned because it just made for like non-games in tier format. If you went first and you just got to Dweller and you played the mirror, like your opponent was just like not winning ever. So, yeah, that was cool. Anyway, cool. I'm down for that. That just seems like future-proofing, and bravo to Konami, because it just seems like we're moving forward just with this vibe of keep hitting floodgates, keep nicking floodgates, keep lowering the amount of floodgates on the list, and hopefully eventually we don't have to like deal with them anymore, maybe at all in the game. So we'll see. All right, next up, limited section. We have Artifact Scythe. Goes from totally free to limited. Don't really understand that one that much. I guess it turns it into a brick. I haven't been keeping up too closely with like OCG lists. Like, have people been playing more than one Scythe? Because I would imagine with Scythe specifically, you're playing Sanctum to get it, and even if you don't play Sanctum to get it, you can still just make a detonator and pop your own detonator to summon Scythe, and then lock them that way. We've had Scythe banned for a long time, so whatever. It's not like this one's a card that also should be banned. Completely locking from extra deck for the whole turn as a lingering effect is not okay. So hopefully this card gets banned on the next ban list. I still think one could easily see play for them, but we'll have to see how that goes. Now we get into like probably the spiciest hit, because it's like direct hits to some of the newer cards that have come out recently. But we have Ryzeal going from 3 to 1. Really cool. This card, I like this card a lot because it's just such a good engine card. It makes your opponent want to negate it, but even if they do, like when you're going second, it's like still just such a good utility card, like dumping Aggregator to negate something while still getting you a level 4 body for free, without normal summon or any real requirement to set up to summon it, and getting a search afterwards. Like, this card to me is the craziest engine card of the main deck for Ryzeal. But so I get why it's the one that gets hit here. The OCG's always been big on this, though. They do this every time. They did it with Snake Eye. They've done it with other decks. They just go for like consistency hits, and it makes decks like awkward and like just funky to play just because they start losing out on starters. I think the deck will be fine. The OCG has so many more copies of starters potentially than us, with 7th Tachyon, and a lot of their lists currently haven't even been playing 7th Ascension either, so they can always just bump the count of 7th Ascensions to kind of make up for consistency hits that they weren't already playing. So I think they're going to be fine. I guess in the grind, losing a copy of X does matter. That means just like on later turns, it's not helping you as much in the grind, so that's something. But I don't know, this one doesn't seem like crazy impactful, but that's also probably by design too. I mean, we're talking about a timeline where they're roughly 3 months ahead of us, right? So we just got our ban list and our drop of crossover breakers, you know, 2 weeks ago. So that's like if on our next ban list 2 months from now, or 3 months from now, in like March or something, we went and like started hitting Ryzeal and Malice. I don't think we're gonna do that in the TCG, but like, you know, there's a reason why these hits are like very minimal. But it's just a couple starters taken away. That this would be a much bigger deal in the TCG, just because the biggest problem for the deck really is consistency. But that's okay. All right, next up we can kind of lump these together, Goldsark and Allure of Darkness. Goldsark going from 2 to 1. They had actually recently put Goldsark to 2, which is kind of crazy. Like, not super recently, but like relatively recently. And then Allure, they go from 3 all the way down to 1. Really going after consistency for Malice as well. This to me, now Allure I think is the more interesting one. Like, the Goldsark is just like it's a consistency hit. It's just to me it's just like a plain black and white consistency hit for them. It's a really good card because it doesn't use their field spell trigger, but it does still, without normal summon, get one of your Malice monsters banished. This to me is signifying a new Malice main deck monster, because Allure gets like so much better if they get like 3 more names for the main deck that like are really good target, like, you know, really good pairings with Allure of Darkness. So I think that's probably the biggest reason we're seeing Allure get hit here, is because I think Konami may have done their own testing with whatever new main deck card is coming. We already saw that there are potential leaks about, you know what I mean, hinting at a new main deck monster. And so if they get one more main deck target that's good to banish, that may be too much, you know, consistency there. So, okay, I think it's fine. It's fine. It's a non-once return draw spell, so like it is really strong, but it's okay. I think it'll be fine at 1. Again, these are just nicks to those decks, so we'll see. Goes in, going from semi-limited to limited. Cool. This should have happened a while ago. Yeah. Cyberjar Forbidden to limited. Cool. Cyberjar slowly coming off the list for them. 7th Tachyon also going from unlimited to semi-limited. This is the semi-limited portion. So that means for Ryzeal, they lose 3 copies of starters in their deck. But again, they have 7th Ascension. So you lose 2 X, you lose 1 Tachyon, you probably just play 3 Ascension now and just call it a day. And you just replace your 3 starters. You can still, with the same amount of consistency, access the X. Now, if you're not drawing hard X as much and you have to go through Ascension and Tachyon, you are neg-1ing in hand more often. So that's like a small piece of it. But in terms of consistency, I think the deck is fine. Next up, we have Monkey Board. Sure. We actually beat them to getting Monkey Board further off the list, which is hilarious. Chronograph Sorcerer, surprised this is still even on the list for them. This should just totally be free. Masterpiece, the True Draco Slayer King, went to 1 recently in Master Duel, I think. And so, yeah, if this card's at 1, this card can be at 3. I don't even know if you play more than 1 if you do play it. So, yeah, totally fine. Morphing Jar from limited to semi-limited. Love it. Snatch Steel from limited to semi-limited. This card's kind of scary, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think it like probably should still exist at 3. Like, I think it's probably fine. Like a what's the word I'm looking for? What is it called? The one with the girl on it. Oh my god, whatever. The like mind control that's like has more outs to it, just because like back row removal, quick removal can kind of beat it. I think it's fine. I do think it is cool for certain decks though. I think it's like really cool for decks like Mikanko, which potentially is on a timeline where it could get new support soon. So like pairing that with 3 Snatch Steel, a deck that historically likes to go second anyway, that actually could wind up being a pretty cool card for them. And then Zodiac Barrage, love this. Barrage should be at 3, 100%. A couple of days ago, I put out my birthday wish list for Yu-Gi-Oh! And like things I would love to see in the next year for Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of them was just like release all the Zodiac cards, make Broad Bull a hard once per turn, make Rat Pier a hard once per turn on its ability to summon from deck, and then just I think you can release all 4 or whatever. I don't know exactly what's on the ban list still for the OCG, but release everything. So I'd love to see that, and I think we're slowly on the way there. So we'll see. And then lastly, we have a huge unlimited section, really big unhit list as well, bigger than normal because there's not a ton of actual hits. It's just like small Malice nicks, small Ryzeal nicks, low key. Sorry for Sharks. Sharks just lost a good starter in Tachyon, but they already play like 3 Ascension anyway, so they're fine. Eva. Semi-limited to unlimited doesn't make a difference. Pankratops, semi-limited to unlimited, doesn't make a difference. It's been a while since Pankratops has been good enough. It just feels like decks have gotten better and Pank doesn't do enough, but it's still possible he comes through at some point and puts in some work for us, but we'll see. Destiny Hero Malicious. This one's kind of interesting, right? We've had Mally at 3, I believe, for a while now. Hasn't really mattered. Heroes are still cheeks, but still cool to see. And I guess maybe we'll find out if Mally can be relevant in the TCG when Supreme Darkness drops and we actually get that new evil hero support. MX Saber Invoker, the difference between 2 and 3 is nothing. Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer, has done nothing. 2 to 3 doesn't matter. Pearly Delicious Memory, that's kind of a cool one. I do think Pearly is like relevant enough for a new copy of Delicious Memory, which I believe is still the best memory. It's Delicious or it's can't remember the other one's name. The newest one. Those are like the best ones, so that's cool. It's better consistency for them. It's a more consistent. It'll make the continuous spell more consistent on hitting the Delicious if you really want Delicious. So that's cool. And then branded opening from 2 to 1, or sorry, 2 to 3. Also cool. They have branded fusion at 1. Like, you know what I mean? I think they're fine. Deck's still like kind of scary and good and powerful, but I think other decks are kind of passing it by at this point. So yeah. Anyway, pretty cool. Not a huge list here. Nothing like too crazy, but I like some of the direction here. I do think Dweller on here is right. Like, I've seen some Ryzeal Fiendsmith lists that are just. I'm still shocked, by the way, that we haven't really seen much like Fiendsmith Ryzeal in the OCG. That like almost all their lists are pure when like the TCG is already proving, unless they have like weird different bands that make the Ryzeal or the Fiendsmith engine not worth it, but. It seems like it's the best way to go, for sure. But, you know, sometimes it just takes a TCG player to break something nasty. But yeah, cool stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, I wouldn't be, like, so disappointed in a list like this next you know, format for the TCG. I don't think Konami's going to go ahead and start hitting Ryzeal and Malice, but if they want to just take a little bit of consistency away, I mean, we already have Gold Sark at 1. We don't even have 7th Tachyon yet. That's going to get printed, actually, around the time we would be thinking about a new ban list. So, like, they're not going to hit that. And then I guess they could try and hit Allure. I guess they can try and nick X, or I guess they could go after Dweller. Those are really the main hits here that I think pertain to our list specifically. But we'll have to see. This is not a huge impactful one. It's a small one. You know, just saying, hey, these things are still new, but we get it. They came in and they're dominating. They're the 2 best decks, and they're probably about to get even more support in Alliance Insight to make them even better. Let's try to keep things relatively in check right now, so that these decks don't just become like the odds-on, like crazy favorites that just dominate everything. So I respect it, but there you go. Those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down below. How would you feel about a ban list similar to this one for our format in about 3 months? I know it's earlier, but you know what I mean. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep you posted with anything Yu-Gi-Oh! News related after this Alliance Insight reveals. This does leave us still with like 45 like slots for the core set. I think these slots really help the set look nicer. Very excited to see what else comes here in the rest of the set. So 45 cards, and we're talking about 33 days, so we still have quite a bit of stuff coming there. And yeah, I'll bring you any news as it comes, so subscribe to the channel for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!